episode of the Mike Cook podcast. As you can see by listening to the heavy metal in the background, I'm in a rebellious mood tonight. Um, I'm sure everyone had a great Valentine's Day, and for the people who kept rubbing it in my face because I'm just not into Valentine's Day, I just want to say for those who didn't rub it in and had a good time, I'm glad you enjoyed it. For those who didn't have a great Valentine's Day, hey, I'm on the same boat. And for those who rubbed it in my face when I really don't care about it, I just want to be the first to tell you, fuck you, I didn't care to hear about it. It's just plain and simple. Everybody knows I have a history of bad Valentine's Days, with the exception of last year. But then we fast forward a year later, it's back to the same old shit again. I just really have a heavy dislike for it. And I figure since I'm out of commission until for the next few days, I might as well just take advantage of this time to vent out and rant and rave and, just let my anger be known and my dissatisfaction of people, especially a certain one that I call my better half, which you have been ass slacking as of late. Many people have been ass slacking. And it's sad because I had to sit and listen and watch one of my best friends suffer on Valentine's Day. He tried his hardest to please his, baby mama, which most guys would have gave up. Most guys would have said, fuck this, I'm going to find another woman. Stuff like that. They would have moved on. But instead, this guy tried to stay on good terms for the sake of their child. And this woman pretty much shitted on it. You know what I'm saying? What's the whole point of accepting gifts and all you're going to do right afterwards is shit on the person for it? It's one thing I never understood about these holidays. People just don't. They're very ungrateful. Because you got people who would try to do that same concept every day, and then you got them to where they're trying to add a little extra to it. Because let's face it, Valentine's Day, if you're a couple, is like WrestleMania if you're a wrestling fan, or the Super Bowl if you're a football fan, or the World Series if you're baseball, and so on and so on. But the fact of the matter is that, you do everything you can to make it so satisfying and great, and you try not to expect nothing back. Like me, I didn't ask for no gifts, but I expected probably one small thing back. You think I got that? No. Not even close. And then at the same time, I had to hear a confession yesterday that I wasn't really pleased at all about. It's one thing if you're going to downgrade me, but if you're going to kick me when I'm down, that's just not going to do it. It's not going to work. Because sooner or later, I'm going to come back and bite you on the ass for it. And that's just life in general. That's with any person. Any person, someone will return the favor. But, it just sucks to see stuff like that going on today and every day. Like, I got another friend who's a female. And I guess you could say she's a friend, but also an admirer because of what she does. And she's one of those people like me who's trying to make it in life. You can't blame them for that. Hers wasn't as great either. You can't blame the woman for wanting to give up. There's a lot of people. I can't blame them for giving up what they want to do. This is why, and it humors me when men say it, what a waste, or when women say, what a waste, to people playing the other field. This is a prime example of why homosexuality and people are turning into gays and lesbians. Because they're tired of being unappreciated by the opposite sex. I'm not saying that I'm playing the other field, but it's kind of sad where I've gotten more compliments from gay men than straight women. That's kind of bad. I'm not saying bad as in, because at the same time it just gasses my head up even more. But it's kind of sad that it has to come down to that in terms of appreciation. It's messed up to where, you don't feel appreciated. But anywho, back to what I was saying about my friend. I've seen her go through, you know, not the best relationships. And I don't get it because she's such a good woman. I can't see how. She's a good woman. She's trying to better herself. She was in the military. She's hot. She's got a kid. She's taking care of it. She's not like all these deadbeat moms in this town. She's hot. And then also mention that she's hot. Well, guess what? She's hot. But, that's what I don't get. It's like, why is it good people get shit on so much? Because we would rather choose the alternative lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? It's bullshit, and it just angers me inside. And it's just funny because I decided not to do a podcast, but after yesterday's incident, I just had to do it. You know, I let it be known straight. I'm not the most perfect looking guy in the world, but don't make me feel like the past year's been a waste of how things have been. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to feel that way. Usually shit like that makes me feel like it's a waste of time. To where it brings back the last person before then, who is a complete hog, I might want to say. Well, I mean hog, you look like a fucking pig. You eat like a fucking pig, and your brain is just as dumb as, guess what? A fucking pig. And that's just the way it is. But now that I got that Valentine's rant over, and I feel a lot better getting it off my chest. Tonight's episode is sponsored by, once again, DJ Menu. Good music, good instrumentals. Check them out on SoundCloud. DJ Menu. That's MENYU. Menu. Spelled differently, but it's innovative. That's the point. In case the last person who sent a message about the plugin was like, it's spelled different. You're damn right it's spelled different. That's what being creative is about. It's very, that's what you want to do when you be different from other people. Because we have so many people wanting to be like others in this world. It's very annoying. We need something new in this world. And personally, if I ever hijack this world, the first thing I would do is get rid of Valentine's Day. You know what I'm saying? I would get rid of it in a heartbeat. Second of which, I'd get rid of my birthday because it's like every year something bad happens on my birthday. I've never had a good birthday yet. Never. So it's like, okay. Yeah. But on another interesting note, for most people that don't know, I'm pretty much out of commission I've been out of commission since Friday. A lot of stuff's been going on. Some of it I don't want to talk about because half of it's an illness, the other half it's personal. Which means half of it the hospital knows and the other half, well, the other hospital knows. Let's say that. There's just too much going on right now to where, I sit here and question to myself, do I feel like I'm good enough for society? Am I good enough for life itself? Part of me says yes, the other part disagrees because of how we're labeled, because of how we're overlooked, because let's face it, most people don't give a shit about one another. Most people don't care about if you're the hardest worker. These days we got people who would rather hire some dumbass because they're related to them rather than someone who can get shit done at the same pay. And that really just gets under my skin about it. That's one thing about my job I can say. People can say what they want about how new leadership is. But I can say this. I get highly appreciated by my coworkers. The upper ones. You got some that's going to complain and whine. They're just going to have to complain and whine. It's not my problem. So, that's life. That's my life. And let's just face it, I'm not happy with how my life is right now because of how, life standards are. Because we would rather deal in a society of people would rather choose the most good-looking guy who would half-ass do stuff, who would shit on everything he does, who would pretty much use you and suck it out of you. And you are worthless. You are useless. You are hopeless. And then you got people like me who would pick you up off the ground, dust you off because of their high admiration for you. And what do you do in return? You spit it right back in their faces. You spit it right in my face. You spit in those people who are like me faces. You spit in their faces because you figure that you're better when really you're just as bottom of the totem pole as everyone else. People like me are the reason why people like you make it in life. We are nice enough to help and give you our every bit of energy, even down to our last penny. And what do we get out of it? We still get shitted on for it. And that's part of life. At least my life. You know, the story of my life. And then people had the nerve to tell me, Mike, you shouldn't complain the way you do. You shouldn't feel that negative. You shouldn't be this way. Well, I like for you to be in my shoes and see if you still agree with that theory. 99.9.9.1% of you people couldn't hack it. You just couldn't. And that's not sour grapes. You know, that's not just me whining and complaining. Because let's face it, it's not whining and complaining when you're tired of the same thing. You know, let's not forget, what, 3 summers ago, I hit probably the biggest depression of my life because I was sick and tired of life. I was sick and tired of being how I was treated. And I'm sitting there with that song playing on repeat over and over because I was planning on doing the unthinkable. And I'm not going to say what it is, but a lot of you people are smart. A lot of you listeners are smart, can figure out what I'm talking about. And all I can say is, it's not the best solution. But when you're feeling that, if you're feeling as much as I was feeling that day, that night, you figure that would have been the only option. And damn it, if it wasn't for my phone ringing, and then the doorbell ringing, and the door knocking afterwards from the same person, there's no telling what could have happened. That speaks for itself. That speaks for itself. Because you got people who are tired of going through these type of things. If it's the same thing every time. You know, I'm tired of seeing my friends, my close ones, family go through the same relapse of how they're treated from society. Society is what's making people the way they are. You wonder why there's things going on like school shootings and all that. You wonder why people and couples get in fights and all that over the dumbest things. This is why right there. You wonder why guys and women, they do the things they do. Prime example, Waiting to Excel. That's a good example if you've seen that. For those who've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. And for those who haven't, Google it, YouTube it. You know, there's a person's pride can only get kicked down but so much because of how they're treated. You know, it really sucks how people are, you know, how they are these days. And then you wonder why people like me are just as big jerks because of it. You wonder, why are you so rude? Why you at one point was just this violent dictator personality towards people. Well, it's easy. It's very easy. Because when people forces you to eat dirt, there's 2 things you can do. You can chew and swallow it and cry, or you can spit it back in their faces. I'm someone who ended up spitting it back in their faces. It's pretty ironic, isn't it, people? It's pretty ironic. But that's just part of the cycle, I guess. That's part of the cycle of people getting things spoon-fed to them. That's pretty much the things of people getting the greatest opportunities on a silver platter. while people or me are just buying my time. Everyone's buying their time, just trying to make it. It really, really pisses me off. It's so horrendous. It's so distinctive because of these type of things. We're pushed against the wall, man. And there's nothing we can do about it sometimes. This is the era of the alternative lifestyle. The reality era, as most people say, is gone. It's far from gone because people are living this box lifestyle. They're living a fantasy world. Prime example. Not to bust her out, but from what I was told, because she's such a picky person, because she likes a real good-looking guy. What is the point of having me around? Because I'm a big guy. Well, I like to say this then. Good luck finding those type of people that can do the things that I do, have that trust and loyalty that I do when it comes to people, and at the same time have them be, this perfect 10. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. You're living in a pipe dream. Many of you people are living in a pipe dream. That's just like that meme that's all over Facebook where it has a man or a female praying saying, God, find me somebody great for me. But instead it shows the second meme going of God answering, too late. You ended up pushing them in the friend zone, or you just completely ignored them. And then you wonder why in the end people like you are lonely. Or when you do get what you want, it's not the best option in the world. You hate it. It's scary, isn't it? But that's just how it is. You can't say in tonight's episode, this guy has a huge chip on his shoulder. He's holding a grudge and he's carrying it. Yes. And I have every right to do so. Every single right. Because I'm not just speaking for me. No. I'm speaking for that one friend who's suffering just as much as I am because his baby's mama. I'm speaking for that one friend who's always unappreciative and feels that she feels like she's expecting too much when really she gives a whole lot, but she gets back very little when it should be the other way around. The guy giving her so much because of how good of a lover she is. Why is it people like me and many others go through what they do? Why is it we get treated the way we do? That is a question I will never, ever, ever answer or find the answer to. And it seems like it's impossible to find it. It's very impossible. So, to those out there, I hope all you had a great Valentine's Day. And you people in relationships, I hope it lasts long. But for those people I despise, for those people that makes my teeth grit when I see them in public, and you smile in my face because you're such a happy, in a happy position, I hope it ends on such a sour note for you. So bad, where when I pass by, I'll be that same person to kick dirt in your face. The same way you kick dirt in mine.